In this video, we're going to be talking about how to grow your YouTube channel fast in 2018. We've got 3 specific tips as well as some Q&A and things like that. But hey, I'm super pumped if you're just joining us, and I'm here with Benji Travis.
What's up?
Who's the co-founder of Video Influencers, a project we run together, as well as a YouTuber himself, an entrepreneur. And we're going to be talking through 3 power tips. But hey, this video is a little bit different. It's a live stream. If you're here on the rebroadcast, totally cool. There's some links in the description. We have some great content for you. But if you happen to be here live, we're going to dive into these tips plus take some Q&A. But our topic today, actually, first of all, Benji, give it a little background about who you are, what you've done on YouTube, and for Think Media community.
Yeah, well, honored to be here. Thank you for having me on your channel. Of course, if you guys follow our other channel, Video Influencer, you know Sean and I have not only had that channel for almost 3 years now, but we've been friends since about 2010 actually. And you know, we've learned a lot on YouTube. I've personally been on YouTube for 10 years. So between our experiences, we decided to start that other channel where we specifically talk about YouTube and interview other YouTubers. So, you know, 3 years later, we're almost at 200,000 subscribers. So we thought we would come on here and talk about 2018. What are the tips that we want to share with you? So honored to be here and ready to get started.
Yes, and hey, if you're just joining, we see over here Daniel, Hitstep, Teching. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we're talking about how to grow your YouTube channel fast in 2018. Kind of some 3 tips to help you think outside of the box as you begin to make a strategy, because there's a lot of things going on in the YouTube world right now. Of course, increasing competition. Of course, the demonetization thing, and people are like, hey, what's going to happen with YouTube?
Algorithm changes.
In fact, if you've been experiencing any of those things, let us know in the live chat or in the comments on the replay. But we just wanted to share a couple power tips. If you asked us, you know, what would our thinking be if we wanted to start a YouTube channel or grow a YouTube channel in 2018, what would we do? And the first tip is a quote from Sally Hogshead to kind of kick this off, and it's this: different is better than better, right? And so if you asked us, what would you do to grow a YouTube channel fast in 2018? It would not be to try to be better than your favorite YouTuber. It'd not be try to be better than the best than Desi Perkins or in the lifestyle, or Casey Neistat in vlogging, or Laura Vitale in cooking. You can't be, you know, a better person than some of these people, but what you want to do is position yourself to be different. That's why we love that quote. So one of the biggest things to be thinking about is how can you find a unique angle, a unique niche, something that's different to really position yourself to stand out, so you can go where there's less competition and really plant your flag in a unique way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to share a little story of yesterday. Sean just ran his first half marathon. We did it together, actually. It was really fun. And then afterwards, we were honored to be able to go into the VIP party. They got a nice spread of food. They had drinks. But we were just thinking, like, you know, there's a lot of people here that are really into running. And we thought, you know, like, there should be a video about this VIP experience in this running. Now, we didn't do a lot of research, but I have done research. There's not a lot of YouTubers covering running events, right? And the reason we bring this up is because there's so many examples of this. And this example is a prime example of how, like, it's a small tribe of people. These are people paying anywhere from $200 to $300 for this experience, that you better believe that if they're going to pay that kind of money, they're also going to research before purchasing that experience. So that video could have been created, and there isn't a video like it for that experience. How many, like, hundreds of experiences, not just in running, but like in life in general, could you start a channel around? And that's what we're talking about. Think about what kind of channel you could start that's different. And you know, the number one thing is fear. A lot of people want to do what's already been tested and proven, right? Like Casey Neistat and daily vlogging. I'm also a daily vlogger, so people think that's what I want to do. However, there's a lot of these niche content channel ideas that haven't been pursued, and maybe you're really interested or passionate about something, and you just like, you know what, since no one else is doing it, it won't be successful. The truth is that the more different your channel is, and the more popular, or the more like people involved in that culture or in that hobby or like running or in those sports, the more likely there's an opportunity for you to start this channel that is different and have success, not just now, but in 2018.
Absolutely. And it's not always immediately obvious, but just as Benji said, we thought about that. If you saw Casey Neistat's recent video reviewing JetBlue Mint, I thought about not just who's going to all the races that they're already doing. Running is millions of people around the world. Yep. Millions. And no one's really planted their flag, though, to be the everyday average man's man or woman reviewing these races, showing you how to check in. I don't know how to do this stuff. I just did my first half marathon. I'm like, where do I check in? What do I do with this little loop thing? How do you connect this to your shirt? Helping people get answers. I've thought about that in the snowboard space. People who love it. We're about to go into winter. People reviewing mountains, reviewing it was pretty good. It's a little bit expensive. And this is, what are we talking about? Building YouTube channels around your passion. Whatever it is you already do, whatever community you're already plugged into, whatever you love doing, other people always want the shortcuts, the tips, and they don't have to be advanced. What actually you can help people with is the beginner information.
Yeah.
I'm a first-time half marathoner and I have no clue what's happening. So if I had a video with the top 10 things to know to do Rock and Roll Las Vegas in particularly, I would have ate that up and would have known all these details. And so that's a
perfect segue to the next point that you're going to talk about, video influencers. When we first started that channel, we actually thought we would be teaching, more established YouTubers, right? Like people that have already gotten going. Well, what we found out was there's tons of people that are just starting YouTube, right? They're just starting their channel. They've never uploaded a video. So actually, a lot of people, including you guys, maybe you have a passion around something, right? You just assume that everyone will already know how to check into the race, right? Or that this mountain is good to snowboard on. Whatever it is, whatever passion or hobby or whatever culture you're a part of, that people already know. But the truth is, remember, where did you start when you started your hobby or your passion, right? You didn't know anything. You had to read books. You had to go to a class. You had to do research. How many of you have done research on something and thought wow, there's not really a lot of good videos? I believe there are videos out there, but there's no one being very intentional about those specific topics. And that's what we did with video influencers. Over time, we adjusted to cater to the beginner YouTubers. Don't get us wrong. The stuff that we teach on that channel, anybody can use, right? Whether you just started or you're at the top level. But again, serving an audience that we assumed wouldn't need our content when actually they need it more than us.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm curious, have you heard of video influencers yet? I know we're here on Think Media, but let me know in the live chat or in the comments below if you've heard about it. And actually, we posted a link to that channel in the description, as well as on the YouTube card if you want to check it out. If you want to grow your YouTube channel in 2018, that channel is focused to helping you. We do weekly interview show with YouTubers. And I'm curious, though, if you've ever seen that before, and there's a ton of tips there. But people ask, well, how are you different? There's other people in the space teaching YouTube tips. So when we talk about being different, you don't just have to start a whole new channel about running, right? Or about whatever your passion is. Sometimes it's making a small tweak to your topic and your niche. So we've got all these friends, Daryl Eves, Tim Schmoyer, maybe you watch some of their channels for YouTube tips. So we thought, what would just be different in our niche? Point number one is different is better than better. And one of the things we saw was that nobody was doing a weekly interview show.
Of YouTubers.
And video influencers. Some people would have guests on, but they wouldn't do it every week. So we thought, well, podcasters are doing this, bloggers are doing this. It wasn't even an original idea. It was being done in any industries, but not in that YouTube niche. So you can just do a small tweak to maybe your topic to position your content a little bit different. And when you do, then it can really stand out. And from doing our weekly interview show, we've had the chance to have Casey Neistat,
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vaynerchuk's on, video influencers, Desi Perkins, people in the lifestyle space. Really cool niche interviews like John Kohler, who has a gardening channel, or people that just have all kinds of crazy channels.
From all walks of life, right? From 10,000, 50,000 subscribers to multiple millions. And that's what we love about interviewing these people, because everybody has something to teach and everybody's content is going to be different, so you can learn different things from different creators.
Absolutely. So again, if you want to check that out, we posted a link in the description. But we're talking about how to grow your YouTube channel fast in 2018. 3 tips. The first one is, how can you be different? Different is better than better. Number 2 is, YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of funny because, right, we put fast in the title, and we do believe that if you do position yourself as different, you can grow faster than other channels. If you do some tips and strategies, you can grow fast, but we also have to keep in mind that greatness takes time.
Yep.
Nothing significant ever happens overnight, but it happens through perseverance, through patience. And so as you begin to make your strategy for 2018 on YouTube, be patient. You know, think about the long haul and not just what's going to happen in the first week, in the first month, but like consider it to be like, you know, a real slow and steady wins the race kind of approach. It's funny because we did just run that half marathon yesterday, and I was going good at first, but I remember when I hit mile 8, man, I hit a wall. I got tired. I wanted to quit. And maybe you're feeling that way right now, just in your YouTube channel or somewhere of life. Keep in mind that if you got to take a break, I actually pulled a muscle at mile 11, and I had to stop, stretch it out. Then I walked a little bit, and then I started to run again. And so it doesn't matter if you've had some setbacks, if you felt sidelined, but always get back in the race and remember that slow and steady wins. Consistently applying the best practices over time can really help you grow. And I just think about it. I think about like Benji and Judy and knowing like how inspirational they are and all the stuff they've done on YouTube is. But Benji, did that happen overnight?
No, absolutely not. And I just want to step back and talk about Sean and his running half marathon. You know, Sean at the beginning of this year, he didn't actually want to run the half marathon. He's like, maybe I'll do it next year. I was like, no, you got to do it this year. It was crazy. He set the date, he signed up for the marathon, and he started training. I think there's something to be said about setting up for the marathon. Literally, we're talking about a half marathon, right? And having that goal. And in fact, I think that's where you can grow faster in 2018, because once you realize how much work it really takes to get to those high levels of success on YouTube, you actually start applying the day-to-day practices, right? I mean, like, we're going to be talking about my wife who's been on YouTube for 10 years. She didn't know what was going to happen, right? But I bet you if she did know what she could have done and she set that goal, that she could have gotten to where she got in less than 10 years. So my wife, Judy, of It's Judy Time, she started out stacking shoe boxes for her tripod, have like really crappy, like $100 digital camera, was taping in the corner of my room when we were just dating. And that was like literally about 2 years putting up beauty videos, and took about 2 to 3 years to like get going to actually just create an income, right? Just be sustainable. Going forward a little bit farther, about 5 years into it, we were actually able to really make a good living. I quit my gig. I was helping her. I was going all in. We started becoming daily vloggers, and that's when we became a business. And literally 10 years later, it's like 10 years this year, it's become a brand. And the reason I like to share that is because there was a lot of hustle there. I think our video count's like 2,500 to 3,000 videos. And that's why those day-to-day videos as vloggers, right? Or week-to-week uploading is so important. But going back to the example of Sean signing up for the half marathon, and why we're talking to you guys about a long game when we're really trying to help you grow faster in 2018, once you set that goal, and that's one reason on Video Influencers we like interviewing people, to inspire you guys to know there's so many success stories on YouTube. And once you know it's possible, then you're like, okay, I can do this. You set the best practices, you hustle every single day, every single week, every single month, and I believe you will grow faster than people like my wife who didn't have that, right? She didn't have anybody to strive towards, right? She was pioneering the space. Now she's probably one of the #1 mom influencers on the platform, but again, like without any kind of hard goals. Now we do make goals now, and I do believe because of our business and our team, we're able to grow faster, but the point being, it is a long game, so commit and buckle in.
I love it. Tyler, thanks so much for the super chat. And Tyler says, to be different, be yourself. Simple. Love it, Tyler. Totally agree. So we're talking about, how do you grow your YouTube channel in 2018? Number one, different is better than better. Number two, YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. And so here's the power question, and we need to hear from you in the live chat or in the comments below. What is your subscriber goal for 2018? But here's a more important question. What is your upload goal? because partly you can't control subscribers. Hopefully you grow big. If you don't, part of that's just up to the world, timing, all these different things. But what you can control is your own actions, your own content. How many times a week do you want to upload? What is your content strategy? Things like that. So I'd love to hear. Dreaming, thinking big right now about 2018 is a smart move. What is your subscriber goal? But more importantly, what is your upload goal? Let us know in the comments. We got Geeky Stuff, Super Chat. Thanks so much, Geeky Stuff. Appreciate you. We're going to do Q&A in just a second, but let's dive into number 3, and that is this. Commit to lifelong learning. Lifelong, right? Lifelong leaders are lifelong learners. And, it takes time to master all these different skills. As YouTubers, we can totally relate to you, and we know the grind. You got to set the camera up, get the lighting going, turn your microphone on, shoot a couple videos, then realize that your microphone wasn't actually on, so all those videos, footage are wasted. Come on, can you relate to that? Then you gotta throw it in the computer, try to edit it, upload it, then you gotta do the title, the description. My gosh.
Sounds horrible.
And then you finally put it out, now you gotta share it on social media, engage in the comments, and then you gotta do it the next day and the next day after that, right? There's a lot that goes into it. And as you're going, there's also a lot to learn. How do you design thumbnails well? One of the most important things for your channel. If you've never studied graphic design, maybe that's something you want to take a Canva course on or watch some YouTube videos to learn Canva, PicMonkey, Photoshop. Learning how to title your videos well and do video SEO. Learning how to be more confident on camera. I just think about it, these kinds of skills don't happen overnight. There's something you constantly work on, and that's why a commitment to lifelong learning is something that we all need. Now, I know that actually if you're watching this, you're already committed to that. Because if you're part of the Think Media community, or if you've ever seen video influencers, then you are someone who continues to learn, study, grow, commitment to mastery, working on yourself, working on your skills. But to really crush it in 2018, you've got to commit to lifelong learning. And not just because of that, but because of a few other things that are happening on YouTube as well.
Absolutely. It's really important to always learn as you're growing. Now, of course, if you're just starting out, this is your learning, right? But if you're more established, maybe you've been at this for a couple of years, just as important, if not more important, because you start getting views, you start getting subscribers, you have some traction, and you think everything's all good, everything's on autopilot, and then out of nowhere this algorithm comes, right? It's so important, especially with the platform changing, right? With social media just changing and the internet in general and how people are using it. When I first started YouTube with my wife back in 2009, people were watching YouTube mostly on their computer. Okay, this is crazy. I feel old just talking about this. They were watching on their laptop or a computer, like a desktop computer. Nowadays, people are actually watching on one of these, right? Even I am watching this. I don't even get out of bed sometimes. I just watch the videos I want to watch or like do my work right on my phone. That's just an example. Like if you don't put your head in the game to be able to understand what is going on, like what are the new tricks of the trade, what are like the new hacks, and what's going on in this space, what are like the new creators doing to have success, then you're gonna get left behind. And unfortunately, I have seen YouTubers who have not done that, right? They have like maybe stopped learning. They have stopped looking into what are the hacks of YouTube to figure out like what is working best. So definitely lifelong learning, so important. By the way, I want to give some shout outs. Creator Fundamentals said congrats on your half marathon.
Thank you so much.
Also right here, Alexander has a question. Love your vids. How about weekly interviews with politicians or giving tech ideas that should already exist but don't? From Alexander.
Interesting. So like a political channel is a great idea.
Oh, so smart.
Lots of people paying attention to politics.
Yeah.
I think starting different channels in the political realm. I think that the tech ideas that don't exist as a whole channel idea, I'm not sure, but what I do know is this, that you want to start before you're ready, and it's an experiment. Here's the thing too, we got to be easier on ourselves about potentially testing something, and not everything has to work. I actually just did an interview with somebody yesterday asking me about my story, and I shared a stat with them, and it was this, that they actually studied small business owners and entrepreneurs, and they said that the average successful entrepreneur succeeds at business 2.6. What does that mean? It It means that they've done 2 to 3 businesses first that failed before they had a successful one that broke through. Yeah. And as I was doing this interview, I thought about one of my first channels called Think International. Did pretty good. Got to about 10,000 subscribers, but never like fully took off. So that's now just sitting on the internet. I think about my Sean Cannell channel. It's doing all right, kind of dead though. I have a channel called Clear Vision Media. That was my production channel, but also kind of dead. So I had 3 YouTube channels that did not break through. But now Think Media, you know, we're talking video influencers. We're about to cross 200,000 subscribers. You know, Think Media, I think, is at 300,000 subscribers, and none of that would be possible without you. But I hope that encourages you that that's saying there was like 2 to 3 experiments. You know, so maybe just step out there, try something, but also don't be afraid to pivot. You know, if you try something for a while, learn a lot of lessons out of experimenting, and then maybe think, oh man, if I start this new thing with what I know now, you can go into it with a whole nother dimension of confidence.
Absolutely. I also want to give a shout out to Chef Benny. Says he's got so much information from you, investment worth it for a lifetime. Also, we've got things you might like. Following your advice is accelerating my growth. New channel, 400 subs. Thank you. You're welcome on behalf of Sean. He'll read all these later, don't worry. But yeah, you guys, excited to be here and just excited about YouTube. It's crazy because Sean and I were making videos like this for our other channel, Video Influencers, last December and talking about the new opportunities. And you know, with every year that goes by, I actually think there's more and more opportunities because more people are watching YouTube. More people are jumping onto social media. So, you know, don't ever let this thought or this fear that like, oh, it's already been done, I'm too late to the platform. Absolutely not everything has been done, and you're not too late. In fact, because, I mean, if I want to give Sean a little kudos, with channels like this channel, Think Media TV, and Video Influencers, and all the how-to channels, you can actually accelerate even more faster, right? There's more opportunities for these smaller channels or these smaller niche content ideas to actually grow and flourish and to monetize, right? To make a living than there was in 2009 when we started, right? Or 2006. So don't let that, you know, of course, I would have loved to start my YouTube channel for food in 2006 and like, who knows where I'd be, right? But that's the past. It's all behind us. Best day to start is today if you haven't, right? If you've already started, be inspired, be motivated, and know that there's tons more opportunity in front of us, and I'm very optimistic about 2018, not just for you guys, even for me too, right? I've been on this 10 years, like, have we like hit a peak? We see like our impressions going down, we see changes in our business. I actually believe right now, with everything going on from algorithm changes to adpocalypse, there's more to come than there ever has been. So hopefully that gives you a little hope. Sean, did you want to land the plane?
Yeah, I think we could do some Q&A and a couple things. Yeah. So question for you is, you know, number 3 is commit to lifelong learning. What is a skill that you think you need to learn next the most? Let us know in live chat or in the comments on the replay. Because again, if you really want to grow in 2018, if you want your YouTube channel to grow in 2018, you need to grow in 2018. And we really mean that. Like, you have to work on yourself. There was times when in our business, I didn't know email marketing, so I had to study it ravenously. I watched videos, watched courses, learned about it. There was times when I didn't know graphic design, so I had to study it. There's a lot of skill sets needed to succeed in this industry. You could be patient on the journey, but you got to know which ones you need to learn next. Is that learning to make better content, studying content and communication? Is that learning video editing and finally sitting down to say, you know what, I'm going to learn how to use iMovie. I'm going to learn how to use Final Cut. I'm going to learn how to use Premiere. People say, how do you learn video editing? You just do it. You start watching YouTube videos. You start watching Linda. The way I did it was I just was terrible forever, and I didn't even know what I was looking at, and little by little, I wanted to just pull my hair out because it was hard, but eventually I learned it. You know, I think we make so many excuses about, I don't know. If you say, I don't know how to do that yet, then learn how to do it. Like, you have Google, you've got YouTube, you've got all these resources. So there's really no excuses for not having a skill. You just have to block time to learn that skill and commit to lifelong learning. So let us know in the live chat, what skill do you need to master next? what skill, video editing, being on camera, designing thumbnails, social media, maybe learning a certain platform so you can distribute your content more. And also, one of the things that we have for you is if you haven't been subscribed to Video Influencers, we have a link in the description below as well as on the YouTube card. And on that channel, we've got weekly tips videos. We also have weekly interviews on the channel as well, tons of YouTube training. And we wanted to really just share this with you because in 2018, there's a lot of tips there that'll help you grow faster. I mean, if you haven't seen some of these videos, it's kind of like a college university course on YouTube, on online video, on growth hacking your brand. We've had, Casey Neistat, Gary Vaynerchuk, Shalene Johnson, Evan Carmichael, Amy Schmidt-Tyre, JP Sears, Grant Cardone, Roberto Blake. I mean, we've had a lot. Lewis Howes. If you haven't seen a library of some of the content that's over there, a lot of training for you and to check out. And so definitely check that out. But I would love to hear. Oh, sorry, I messed you up.
Audrey just said she's gonna hustle next year, 5 days a week, launching 3 different shows in my niche of travel and filmmaking. Thank you, Sean, for your advice in VR. That's a quite the commitment. And I can tell you this: if you stick to that for 1 year, you're gonna learn so much, and you're gonna you can have a fun year next year.
So the Mendoza family says, I need to learn video editing and tags. Let's see. I need to stop being a perfectionist, says Gospel Filter. For real. I'm glad you said that. All of us, I think, struggle with that as creatives because it's so personal. Don't you feel that? When you put your content out on YouTube, you're sharing yourself. You're taking a risk. You're opening yourself up for criticism, and you want to make everything perfect. But the reality is done is better than perfect. Mm-hmm. A video that's like 70%, 75% good, shared with the world, helping people, is a lot better than a video that's 100% good, but it's still on your computer and it never actually gets out there to make a difference in someone's life. You got to just take action. I think every single video we've ever posted, there's a moment where I'm like, oh, why did I do that face? Oh, I said so many times. Like all these things. We're always, never going to be perfect, right? But when we take massive action, that's where the results are. So thanks so much for sharing that tip. And we probably could take a question or two. If you're curious about anything and you want us to answer your question, type in like 5 question marks and then a couple question marks at the end. Benji, are you seeing anybody else with what they're working on for 2018?
Let's see here. Last question is, let's see here.
What is the best vlogging camera for a beginner? So we actually have a video on Video Influencers. We'd recommend you go check it out. Actually, if you go to YouTube search and type in, what is the best vlogging camera? I think it's Benji and I's video together, and you'll be able to find a video where we actually break down the best vlogging camera for every different budget.
Okay, this is a good one, and it's a hard one to answer, but how do you grow a music channel when you can't rank on cover songs? Now, one of the number one reasons why this is so difficult, outside of like the copyright issue and all that, and the cover songs challenge, is because a lot of people want to do this. There are a ton of people that will love to be on stage and be a superstar, and it's not just some of those challenges I mentioned before. It's just because it is very competitive, right? And that's a great example of what we were saying earlier, which is you've got to be different somehow. I can't actually tell you because I'm not a musician, right? We've actually interviewed some musicians or people that are in the music scene on Video Influencers. You can check those out. But the reality is you got to find out what does work, right? And the only way you find that out is by uploading a lot of videos and testing different ideas. One thing I would say is like, you know what? Original music. Like if you really want to be a superstar, you got to be good at making music. So that means not necessarily the YouTube video, you got to focus on your craft, which is making dope music, right? Music that people want to hear. A tip that I heard from somebody that I really respect when it comes to music is give your music for free, right? Don't like try to do cover and say, hey, you can go buy my album. I know you're saying that because you need to make a living, right? Or you want to make a living. But the reality is if you're making dope music and you put it out there, not only are people going to want to listen to it, but they'll also want to share it. And eventually, you still have that music on iTunes or wherever. people will buy it, right? But you need to get an audience first. That is the most important. This is me personally, okay? Again, I'm not in the music scene. I don't even know how difficult it is. I know it is. If I was a dope musician and I had great songs and I know I could perform, I would even perform for free. If I could get a crowd of anywhere from 5 to 20 people in a room in a city, because those are my fans, I would perform for free for those people. Now, people like, well, man, that's a lot of work to what. Those are your diehard fans, right? I can promise you that if you have diehard fans at the beginning and you give them like a performance for free, they're going to share your music for you. They're going to do more work than you can do by yourself. That's just one idea for you. Hopefully that works, right? But the point being is, for anybody, you need to test out the ideas that work for your niche, for your content type, or your industry, because we don't have all the answers. And we always tell people that up front, that we don't know every answer for every type of channel, but you will if you put in the hustle and you have the desire to succeed. And especially in music, there's a lot of other people that have that desire too. So.
All right, rapid fire Q&A, and we want to actually point you to a couple good resources. You know, it's cool to have Benji here on Think Media talking about video influencers, but the cool thing is we have some really deep dive training on these questions. So Mia asks, how do I know what content to post? We've got a video, if you type in a search, how to come up with video ideas or good video ideas for YouTube. We've got 3 or 4 videos out on that, as well as an interview with Nikki Philippi sharing about how she comes up with video ideas. So Mia, definitely check that out. A couple other questions. Anna said, how do you get over the fear of not being good enough? Type in how to be more confident on YouTube. You can use the word video influencers, and we not only have asked a couple people we've interviewed about how to build your confidence to be on camera, but we have, I think, 7 tips in a video about building your confidence. We also, here's a question, can you recommend a good platform to build an online course with? Cheaper options are like Thinkific or Teachable, or if you want to scale more and do a lot of products, personally, we use Kajabi. One person asked here, how often should I live stream to connect with subscribers better? We just released a video about YouTube Live over on Video Influencers. Check that out. Dee said, working on consistency. I have 3 kids. I can only upload and edit at night when I'm super tired. We've got a video out on Video Influencers about how to be consistent and really block timing and managing your time. And so it's not that we have to shoot a couple other videos today, but one of the biggest things, obviously, thanks so much for hanging out with us live, but we do want to really recommend the Video Influencers channel to you, because if you look around just for a while, I think you're going to find just a rich library of different things to overcome hurdles, you know, stuck points. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe there's some nuances that you can glean there, plus a big library of YouTubers and entrepreneurs that are using video and, you know, their insights. One thing I might recommend too is if you want to really do some learning, take like a Saturday and put yourself in school. I mean, obviously we're promoting our own channel here, but it's not even just us. We've interviewed all these different YouTubers. It's like a free online school for online video. And you can just head over there, grab a journal, set a couple hours at a time, and like treat it like a class and take notes, and then be journaling. Here's what you always want to do when you take notes. You want to take notes, but you also want to make notes. So when you take notes, you write down what they said, but when you make notes, you write down what you need to do. Yeah. And the make notes is like, okay, boom, that applies to my channel like this. So my action item is, oh, dang, that video idea? Well, I'm going to shoot that Tuesday. And when you make notes, you don't just write down your action items. You also can put it on your calendar so you can actually execute and follow through. Because we don't just want to get information. We want to be able to take massive action and apply what we learn. So anyways, guys, the link to Video Influencers is in the description here. It's also on the YouTube card. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I'll be doing some future live streams and Q&A here on Think Media. New videos coming this week. Omar's here actually helping us. Omar, pop in. Omar has been, there he is. Omar has been helping a lot with Think Media. You can fit, come on, bro.
We out here.
Yeah. And we are super grateful for you, though. Thanks so much for being connected. And ultimately, you know, this channel is committed to helping you with the best tips and tools for building your influence online with online video. More tech reviews coming your way, more strategy. And if you could do just one favor, you know, it's unfortunate because I'm going to try to read as much of your live chats as we can, but YouTube makes them disappear.
Yeah.
So if you have a question, a video idea, something you want covered in a future video, once the replay shows up, if you could come back to the video, leave it in the comments, that would mean the world to us, because then the comments just start at 0, and it helps be able to actually remember what you said, and that way I'll be able to see it for sure, and you can come back to the comments. Benji, final words for crushing it on YouTube in 2018.
Yeah, honored to be here, you guys. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. And you know what? It's all about the hustle. But make some goals so that you can hustle towards something. Boom.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate you so much. Keep crushing it. We will talk soon.